Good morning everyone and welcome to the course. I am Panduranga BP, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I am handling the course Turbo Missions in this particular semester. So I will be accompanied with Professor Puneet Kumar SB and Professor Mallikarjuna S. The subject code is 18ME54 and it carries 3 credit points for this semester. Before going to the overview or the syllabus or the outcomes of this course, let us understand what are turbo missions, and before going to turbo missions, let us first understand what are fluid missions. Fluid missions are the devices where the energy interaction happens between a fluid and a mission. So in other words, fluid power can be converted into mechanical power, or the mechanical power can be converted into fluid power. The device which facilitates this process, the conversion of fluid power to mechanical power or the mechanical power to the fluid power, we call them as fluid missions. The fluid missions can be broadly classified as positive displacement missions and turbo missions. So in the case of positive displacement missions, you will have a cylinder, will have a cylinder. There are rotary positive displacement missions, but on a broader spectrum you have a cylinder and a piston arrangement, and transfer occurs in a confined space. So the energy transfer basically occurs due to change in the volume of the fluid. The change in the volume can be done with the help of mechanical force, or the energy of the fluid may change the volume. So depending on that, we have power producing and power absorbing positive displacement missions. Here we will be dealing with this in detail in the module 1. So I am just giving you the examples. For power producing positive displacement mission, the examples are IC engines, steam engines, or the gear motor or the spur motor. These are the examples of power producing positive displacement missions. Here you need to be careful. I am using the term power producing, power absorbing with respect to the mechanical engineering field. So here, as a mechanical engineer, if the power is being produced, which means to say that I am getting mechanical work output from the device, and if the power is being absorbed, then it means to say that by the mechanical energy is being converted into some other form of energy. In this case, it will be fluid energy, so or fluid power. And when I talk about fluid power can be exist mainly in 3 forms. One is the potential energy. If I store water in the overhead tank of our houses or in a reservoir, then it has certain amount of potential energy. The stored water at a certain height has potential energy, and if you make the same water to flow, then the energy becomes kinetic. So the water can have potential energy and can have kinetic energy, and if you convert the same water into steam, then it will have thermal energy in it. Okay, these are the 3 forms of fluid power which can be converted into mechanical energy when we are dealing with the fluid mechanics. Or you can convert the mechanical energy into fluid power in the form of either pressurizing the fluid or taking it to a higher level or making it flow. So you can impart kinetic energy or potential energy to the fluid in the case of fluid missions. So we were talking about the positive displacement missions. We have power producing and power absorbing. So in the case of power producing turbo missions, the fluid energy, either it may be the heat energy or it may be the pressure energy, will be converted to mechanical energy. In the case of power absorbing, the best example is the reciprocating pump or compressor or the cycle pump which we use to fill air into our cycle tires. So these are the power absorbing turbo missions where we provide mechanical energy as input and they increase the energy of the fluid, or they impart certain amount of power to the fluid. In this case, the motion will be linear, and the fluid has a certain volume. Then it will be enclosed within that volume. It will be separated from the rest of the fluid, and the interaction between the machine and the fluid will change the stagnation state of the fluid. So here, when the energy interaction is taking place, the fluid will be almost in rest condition. But when it comes to turbo machines, so in the history of the development of fluid machines, we first encountered the development of positive displacement machines. And if you want to know, we have lungs and we have heart. Those are also positive displacement machines, because when we breathe, we take in air. Our lungs takes in air, so it creates a suction, and the air goes into the lungs. Then we hold it to absorb oxygen and to discharge carbon dioxide, and then we release the air from our nose. So here the flow is not continuous, and there will be a time in which the air will be inside our body and it is cut off from the rest of the surrounding air. So that is an example for a positive displacement machine. Similarly, the heart, it has to draw blood from all parts of the body, and then it has to deliver it to it has to create a circulation of blood. So it draws from all parts of the body and circulates it to the different parts of the body. Again, there also the heart sucks blood and keeps it inside inside the heart for a moment to pressurize it, and then it releases or it circulates it to the other parts of the body. So those are the examples for the positive displacement machines, where the energy interaction happens when the fluid is at rest, and the energy interaction is happening due to change in the volume of the machine or the fluid, and that changes the stagnation state of the fluid. When it comes to, there are few types of machines where the fluid flow will be continuous and there will be a rotating element which imparts energy or which absorbs energy from the machine, so from the fluid. So those kind of machines we call them as turbo machines. So here again we have three different types of, broadly the turbo machines can be classified as producing, power absorbing and power transmitting turbo machines. So the development of turbo machine was led by some of the drawbacks of the positive displacement machines, because in the earlier stages of development of aircraft, the engines which were used in the aircrafts were IC engines. We had inline configuration or V configuration or rotary IC engines. Again, the drawback with the IC engine is, here we have a reciprocating motion, and whenever we have a reciprocating motion, there will be imbalance in the forces, and to counter that, you need to increase the weight of the engine. So when you increase the weight of the engine, so the power to weight ratio of the engine will reduce, and for aircraft engines, the power to weight ratio should be very high, so that you can have a smaller engine, and which means lighter aircraft, so it can carry a larger amount of payload, or it can carry larger amount of weapons, or it can go for a very large, we can increase the range of the aircraft. So for that they started thinking about a rotary type of engine, and that led to the development of machines, especially the gas turbines. The gas turbines are used in the aircraft to power the turbojet engines are used to power the aircraft, which are high power to weight ratio, and they are very compact in size, so they will be able to support the aircraft for a longer duration of time, or they will be able to carry more load. So in turbo machines we have power producing, absorbing and power transmitting. So in the case of power producing turbo machines, the general name given for them is turbines. So the major turbines are classified based on the working fluid. So if it is water, then we call it as hydraulic turbine. If it is steam, then we call it as steam turbine, or if it is gas, then we call it as gas turbine. And also we have wind turbines. Okay, then in the power absorbing, the most commonly used turbo machine is the centrifugal pump, which we use in our day-to-day life in our house to pump water from sump to the overhead tank. We make use of centrifugal pump. Similarly, we use blowers. So if you have a hair dryer, then the air will be circulated through the hair dryer with the help of a blower. So these are the examples for power absorbing turbo. Then we have power transmitting turbo machines. Those are hydraulic couplings or torque converters. These are power transmitting turbo machines where we are not generating power or mechanical power, or we are not absorbing mechanical power. For the hydraulic coupling or torque converters, the input as well as output will be mechanical power itself. So we call it as power transferring or transmitting turbo machine. So in this course, what we are going to study is, we are going to study in detail power producing and power absorbing turbo machine. In the core subject turbo machines, we will be dealing with power producing and power absorbing turbo machines, studying about power transmitting turbo. So as a mechanical engineer, our aim is to provide mechanical power, and our aim is to circulate fluid through different systems, maybe circulating water through a city. We need to supply water throughout the city, and we need to know the power required, and then we need to design the pumps required for the capacity. So we will be concentrating on power producing and power absorbing turbo machines in this course. Now let's have a look at the syllabus prescribed by VTU. As you know, the syllabus has been divided into 5 modules. In the first module, we'll be studying the introduction to the turbo machines. We'll study the different components of the turbo machine, and then we will study the thermodynamics of fluid flow applicable to the turbo machines. And in module 2, we will study about the energy exchange in turbo machine. That is the main focus of our study, how the energy interaction is happening between the turbo machine and the fluid. Okay, so we'll study about the energy exchange in turbo machine, and then we will take a general turbo machine, or we will take a turbo machine which can be a power producing or power absorbing turbo machine, and we will analyze the work, we will analyze the performance of that turbo machine in the end of module 2. Then in module 3, we will take up a particular type of, in the remaining modules, we will take up a particular type of turbo machine, and we will apply the same general analysis which we have done in module 2 to that specific type of turbo machine. In module 3, we will take up the steam turbines, and we will, in the case of steam turbines or in any other turbo machine, we have broadly 2 types of turbo machine. One is impulse machine and the reaction machine. In the case of impulse, only the kinetic energy is being, the kinetic energy of the fluid is being interacting with the turbo machine, whether it's a power producing or a power absorbing. Only the energy interaction will be in the form of kinetic energy. Those machines, we call them as impulse machines, and if the energy interaction is happening partially due to kinetic energy and partially due to pressure energy, then we call them as reaction machines. So in module 3, we will take up steam turbines, and we will analyze the impulse steam turbine and reaction steam turbine, and we will find out the power output of the turbine or the different efficiency of the turbine. And in module 4, we will take up the hydraulic turbines. Hydraulic turbines are the turbines where the working fluid is water. Again, here we have impulse and reaction. We will analyze the impulse. The example for impulse is a well-known Pelton wheel. So that's an impulse hydraulic turbine. And then we have the Francis and Kaplan, which you have studied in the elements of mechanical engineering. Those are reaction turbines. So we will take up the Pelton wheel, Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine, and we will apply the general analysis to that specific turbines, to the specific turbines. And then in module 5, in module 3 and 4, we had taken up the power producing turbo machines, but in module 5, we will take up the power absorbing turbo machines, that is the centrifugal pump and the centrifugal compressor. We will apply the principles which we have studied in the general analysis to centrifugal pump and centrifugal compressor. Coming to the question paper pattern, so as you know, there will be 10 questions in the question paper in the final exam. There will be 2 questions formed from each modules. From module 1 to 5, there will be 2 questions from each module, and while answering the paper, you have to choose any one question from the module. So you have to study all the 5 modules and you have to answer all the 5 questions, selecting 1 question from each module. And coming to the textbooks, VTU has prescribed 4 textbooks for this course and 3 reference books for this course. The textbooks prescribed by the VTU are, the first one is An Introduction to Energy Conversion, that volume 3, Turbo Machinery by V. Kadambi. And the second textbook prescribed by VTU is Turbo Machines by B.U. Pai. The third textbook prescribed by the VTU is A Textbook of Turbo Machines by Dr. M.S. Govindagowda and Dr. A.M. Nagaraj. And the fourth textbook prescribed by the VTU is Fundamentals of Turbo Machines by B.K. Venkanna. All the textbooks are excellent and you can refer any of these textbooks throughout the course, and we will be referring all the 4 textbooks while delivering the lectures. Now let us see the course outcomes for this course, that is Turbo Machines. The course outcomes are the statements which we have developed that the student will be able to achieve by the end of the course. So by the end of the course you will be able to do these following 5 points. So the first course outcome is acquired knowledge about the energy conversions, different energy conversion process in turbo machines. So you will be able to know which kind of energy conversion process occurs in the turbo machine. And then in the second course outcome is establish relation between the performance parameters of turbo machines. So you will know what are the different performance parameters and how they are related and how the performance of a turbo machine. And then the third course outcome is analyze the efficiency and utilization factor using Euler's turbine equation and the laws of thermodynamics. The Euler's turbine equation is the equation which we are going to derive in the second module, and that is the basic equation for the energy interaction in a turbo machine. So with the help of Euler's turbine equation and the laws of thermodynamics, you will be able to analyze the efficiency of the turbo machine and the utilization factor. Utilization factor is also another form of efficiency which we are going to study in. So you will be able to analyze the efficiency and utilization factor of a turbo machine with the help of the basic equation, that is Euler's turbine equation, and the laws of thermodynamics which we study in module 1. And then the student will be able to find out or determine the effect of various parameters on turbo machines. So there are different parameters in the turbo machines. By varying a parameter, what is the effect on the turbo machine, you will be able to do that by the end of this course. And the last course outcome is analyze the performance of a turbo machine. So by studying all the parameters and the efficiency and the utilization factor and other processes, you will be able to analyze the performance of a turbo machine, and you will be able to find out the power output from a turbo machine or the efficiency, or you can suggest how to increase the efficiency of a turbo machine by the end of this course. So these are the 5 course outcomes that you will be able to achieve by the end of this course. Thank you.